Good evening, my friends. My name is Xiomara Mayo Ingram, and like every Thursday, here we are with our emotional cafe session tonight with successful attitudes. I hope you already have your hot chocolate or maybe your hot coffee. I have a little bit of tea, cold tea, and I want to go ahead and remind you, like I always do, a couple of things that are important that you keep in mind. The first one is to thank you for following us on all the social medias, but I would like to remind you that if you have not subscribed to our Emotional Cafe newsletter, you can still do so. It's totally free. All you need to do is go to our webpage and let us know what your email address is, and once you get the confirmation email, you click on the link that you will be receiving to confirm your subscription. We are already working on our April newsletter, and you probably already missed some of the past editions, but you still have time to catch up, so go ahead and subscribe right away. It's on our webpage, emotionalcafe.com, so just take some time to do that if you haven't yet. Invite your friends and your family members to also follow us. Remember that this is a virtual platform for you. It's totally free, and you can not only participate in our presentation tonight by using the chat, but let me make sure that the chat is working. Give me a minute. There it is. And also, if you missed any of the presentations due to any reason, you simply go to our webpage and you're going to be finding every single presentation is already there in a video format, so you can take your notes and you can go and watch whatever presentation, whatever topic it's interested for you, or might be something that you've been longing to learn about. Just feel free to go and enjoy those past presentations and videos. Also, I want to remind you that we are creating our directory of services. So if you are a professional that would like to advertise in our directory of services, or you would like to sponsor us, feel free to contact us and we can give you more information in this regard. You and many others like you are the reason why we can stream totally free, and we need your cooperation. So contact us and let's see how we can collaborate together to help you grow your business, to help you promote the services you have, but at the same time to contribute for Emotional Cafe to continue growing and to continue being free for everyone around the world. And that's another thing that I wanted to remind you. When you invite your friends or when you think of others, sometimes people don't know who to tell about Emotional Cafe. You can tell pretty much anyone wherever they are at. It doesn't matter the time zone, it doesn't matter the distance, because again, this is totally free and you can access it. All you need is to have internet and a device of your preference. So whenever you recommend Emotional Cafe to anybody, just let them know it doesn't matter where they're at, that they can still have access as long as they have an internet connection and they have a computer or laptop or cell phone. And finally, I want to remind you that every Thursday we have a different session, and that you can be part of that session. If not online, you can send us your questions by email. You can send us your concerns, you can send us your situation, and I'll make sure that I can address it, even maybe in the session, or if not, at least in the newsletter. In the worst scenario, I promise that I will be replying back to you with my recommendations and my feedback on that regard. So keep that in mind, and with that, let's start with the session, Successful Attitudes. I chose this section because I chose this topic actually because sometimes we relate the word success to people, and we don't stop to think that actually success is more related to an attitude, a way to see things and a way to cope with things, a way to cope with life that some people have developed more than others. And that's what this session is going to be about, because we all have success. Success is accessible for all of us. Success is something that we all can benefit from and we can enjoy, but sometimes we don't know how to. And I struggle myself with this specific issue. I remember that I had a coworker that asked me once if what was my definition of success, and if I thought that I was successful. And it kind of got me thinking about the different ways that we people tend to see success. And I remember having to realize and connect with the many times that I made wrong decisions or wrong choices in my life that I thought or felt like a failure, and how I was able to grew from those situations and become who I am right now. And I was able to develop the attitude to do my very best in everything that I did. And it's just amazing how now I can look back and see me in a successful way, as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a daughter, as a co-worker. So by understanding that success was not defined by only one thing that I did, or only by my professional field, or the career that I have chosen, or the work that I had, or how much money I was making, I realized success to me was defined by many different things that were important to me. And I guess that's the key element to define success, to be able to understand that you cannot let others define what success should mean to you. You cannot let others to define the way you're going to be measuring success. And when you come to a peace with that fact, you realize that there are many things that maybe we have not accomplished. We maybe didn't have the opportunity, or maybe we didn't work so hard to accomplish those. But in many other things, we might have been able to do just great. And it just depends on our own expectations and our goals. So when we're talking about success, it's hand in hand with the kind of goals that we have. And that's why I wrote an article that you can find in our webpage that is called the meaning of success. Actually, I was thinking of whatever gives you peace because I was just talking about it, but the meaning of success, in which it kind of gives you a sense of my struggle, my personal struggle, and my personal definition of success. And it might help you to realize what is it that you want, what is it that you consider success for you. However, when it comes to being success, there are certain attitudes that we need to develop and grow and nurture. And it is important for us to know what those attitudes are. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. The first successful attitude that I want to talk to you about is that successful people, and this is where I mention people, but not because they were born in a wealthy family or because they are considered successful because they're rich and famous. No. When I mean successful people, I mean those people that strive, those people that do great, those people that whatever they start, they kind of excel. That to me is someone successful, regardless the area in which they are performing or the area in which they are showing their success. But successful people, they have something in common, and it's the kind of attitudes they share. And the first one is that they have a vision. They have an idea of the kind of future that they want. They're not the type of people that are just living in the present without planning for the future. But rather than that, they are enjoying the present, knowing that there's got to be more. They want more. And their attitude is of visualizing a better future for themselves. They are not so into where they've been or where they're at now, but rather than that, they are very well oriented to where they want to go. That's what it is about for them. So I think the vision is very important. I already shared with you how I have a vision board. It is something that I have used for the last 11 years of my life, and it's been just amazing because it helps me. It helps me realize what is it that I want to do with images and pictures, and I put it in front of me. I put it in a place where I can usually see it to remind myself what my goals are. But I don't do it only in one area of my life, and that's the key, because again, I don't want to be defined only as a professional. I want to be able to have my life fulfill and feel great about everything I do. So in every single area of my life, I have a goal and a specific specific thing that I want to be able to accomplish for the next 2 months or 6 months or maybe a year. And I see it every day. And every time I look at that vision board, it helps me remember where is it that I'm going? What am I working for? What is it that I'm dreaming of in order to make it happen? So having that vision of a better future is that first attitude that a successful person need to have. So if you realize tonight that you are one of those people that probably are not considering any future, you don't even think there can be something good in your future or anything, I want you to start exercising and visualizing what is it that you want. What would you like? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 2 years from now? What is it that you want? Think about it. Imagine it. Close your eyes and picture it in your mind. And that vision should be what pushes you forward. It should be that little engine that is going to help you put your actions together. If you don't have a vision, if you don't know where you're going, you're going to be stuck. When we travel, we usually need to know where is it that we're going to go before we take off and go to the airport and take a plane. If you don't know where you're going, you simply will be at the airport without knowing which flight to take. So you need to plan. You need to know which place is that you want to travel to, and then make a plan and put the actions together to board the plane and do the traveling that you need to get to that location that you want to visit. It's the same thing. That's why vision is the first one. Having a vision is the first attitude. You need to speak from a vision. You need to feel your vision. You need to imagine it. You need to visualize it in your mind, and you need to taste it. How are you going to feel when you get there? Because that's what's going to help you move bit by bit towards that goal. So successful people, they always have a vision. They always have an idea of a better future. That means that they don't settle. It's funny because there's a commercial that it's always talking about settling. You know, we're settlers. We settle for whatever comfort we have now, and we don't want anything better. And I think it illustrates an important fact of our lives and how we just get comfort. We get so comfortable where we're at that it becomes our comfort zone, and sometimes we're missing amazing things that could be happening in our life simply because we don't want to move. We don't want to do anything different than what we're doing. We want everything to remain the same. But the truth is that change will be inevitable, and the more that we plan for a better future, the more prepared and better well equipped will be to face it. So keep that in mind and start having a vision for yourself. If you haven't yet, this is the moment to do so and start thinking, what is it that I want? What will be a better future for me? What will be a vision that I can be committed to and happy about and very satisfied with the results? And keep that in mind and start showing that attitude in everything you do, knowing that everything you're doing now is working towards a vision. The second successful people attitude is that they think about their goals instead of their problems. And this is huge right there, because also we human beings tend to think about the problems and about the obstacles and everything that is going to go wrong instead of what our goals are, what we want to accomplish, and how we're going to feel about those goals. So I am going to go back. I have it here. Last week we were talking about SMART goals. You remember that I showed you this picture, and I have it here again to remind you, because SMART goals are effective goals, and successful people, they always plan effectively. Their goals are effective goals, and their plan is an effective action plan. Why? Well, because of these specific characteristics that these goals have. For instance, the goals need to be very specific, and you need to write them down. You need to put them on a piece of paper. You need to be able to see it in writing so you have it clear in your mind. And they need to be specific, and specific means that it will answer questions such as which, what, who, where, when, why. So you need a specific goals. They need to be measurable. You need to be able to monitor their progress, and you need to be able to say how much or how many, how is it that you're going to be able to get it. But you need to be able to have specific ways to measure your progress, to measure if you have accomplished that goal or not. They're action oriented. They are based on specific actions that you need to put together in order to see that result. So you need to write down not only the goal, but also the specific things that you're going to be doing. They need to be realistic and relevant. They need to be realistic in terms of challenging your skills and your knowledge and your expertise and your levels of performance, but at the same time, they must be relevant to you, that have some sort of meaning, and they need to be realistic. You cannot set a goal for yourself that is not humanly possible, okay? So they need to be realistic. They need to be things that you know that others have already achieved, others have already accomplished, because that's the key right there. If others have done it, why can't you? If others have been able to accomplish that, why can't I? And that's the kind of attitude that you need to have. And also, effective goals are time-based. They are based on a specific timeline. It's not something that you plan for the future, someday. No, it's specifically based on a timeline, a specific period of time, what I'm going to do the first week, what I'm going to be done by next month, what is going to happen the following month, and so on you go, putting those actions in a chronogram, putting those actions in a calendar, making it specific so you can actually go from one step to the next. So again, these people, we see them and we think they are really successful, and we go like, wow, how they are so successful. Simply because first they have a vision for their future, and second because they know what they want. They know that goal, which one it is, they have it clear, written down, they set a deadline, they set their timeline, they put their actions by written down as well, and they start putting that action as a plan, and they put it together to make it happen, instead of thinking about the possible problems that they might find along the way. So that is the key. Think about your goals and not about your problems. Now I want to stop right here and tell you that sometimes when I'm having individual sessions with some individuals that I get to help, that they come for me to assist them as a life coach, I have found that sometimes they struggle with the fact that they don't know what their goal is. They simply don't have a goal. And sometimes they tell me, Xiomara, I don't even know what is it that I want. I don't know what I want. That might be your problem. I remember the first time I was working on my vision board. I had never done it. I wanted to do it. I was very excited. And I remember sitting down for about 3 or 4 hours, just looking at the piece of paper in front of me, and my mind was totally blank. I couldn't think of a thing I wanted. I just couldn't. I just didn't know what I wanted. And I guess it's something that sometimes we have been so lost, involved in daily, day-to-day activities and the work, and we get a job because we have to pay the bills, and some of us have children, and then we're raising our kids, and life kind of gets going, and you don't actually stop to think about what you want. And at that moment I realized, and I said, oh my God, I'm living my life and I don't even know what is it that I want. I come from a divorce, I come from a marriage that fails, and I don't even know what is it that I want for a relationship. And let me tell you this, after those first 3-4 hours of frustration, because I felt very frustrated, I made a choice, and this is what I'm going to recommend to you if that's your case, if you don't know what you want. I made a choice to define what I didn't want, because I didn't know what I wanted, but I kind of had an idea of what I didn't want in my life anymore. So I decided to work with that because that's all I had. So I made a list of the things I didn't want in my life, and I made a list of the things I didn't want in a relationship. And amazingly, by reflecting on those, I was able to slowly bit by bit, come up with things I wanted. Listen again. I didn't know what I wanted, so I had to start with what I didn't want in my life, because that was the only thing I kind of knew for sure. And from that moment, from that point, by knowing and defining what I don't want, I was able to get the clarity of mind to define what I wanted. What am I saying? I'm just saying that it's okay if you don't know what you want. I'm just saying that it's okay if for many years you have struggled in living life and not even knowing what is it that you want. It's okay. We cannot change that. But what I'm saying is that we can work with that. You can work with that. Take that. Write it down. Write down what you don't want. And then, by looking at what you don't want, start defining, start thinking about the kind of things that you might want. And bit by bit, you're going to see how you're going to be able to clarify your goal. And then, ta-da! That's where you get it. That's when you get your goals. Because the minute that you connect with that possibility of things that you might want, that maybe right now you're struggling and you're not connecting with them, then you'll be able to put this recommendation of effective goal planning into action. You're going to be able to put it in writing. You're going to be able to say, okay, if this is what I want, what do I need to do? What actions I need to make sure that I take? And bit by bit, you're going to end up with your action plan that is going to take you to accomplish that amazing goal that you kind of labor and you kind of deliver yourself. So I really hope this recommendation helps you, because I tell you, it was what helped me. And again, it's something that I use with individuals when I am coaching them, that I see that they're stuck, because I don't want to tell them what is best for them. I don't want to tell them what they need to do. It's something that you need to define by yourself, and it was something that they deserve to define by themselves as well. So it's an exercise that I do with them by helping them define what is it that they don't want. Again, I always recommend have notebooks, have a journal, have a pencil, because it's important to write about this stuff. That's what helps, and that's what really gets you going, because when we're writing, we're kind of seeing it and we're connecting with it. So it's an amazing tool that I recommend that you have, if you haven't done it, that you start using it more often. The third attitude, these people, the people that we consider successful people, and again, this is all about success, not about the people. The successful attitude number 3 is the excellence, being oriented to excellence, committed to excellence. What does this mean? Well, if we want to be nurturing a successful attitude, we're not going to go just by getting by, doing, my minimum effort in everything I do. No, we need to be committed to be excellent. Excellent in everything we do. Excellent in every single task. It doesn't matter how little it is. It doesn't matter how irrelevant it might seem. We need to be excellent. We need to try to be the best mother. We need to try to be the best father, the best husband, the best wife, the best friend. Everything we do, we need to feel that we've done our 100%. And that's when we have that inner satisfaction about ourselves that will also boost our self-confidence, and that goes hand in hand with success. So by doing the best you possibly can, you are really being committed to being excellent. Again, don't let others define for you, but it is important that what you do it consciously, that you're doing the best. And sometimes we know when we're not doing the best, but sometimes we get lazy in life and we simply kind of give up, and we don't push ourselves to doing more or to doing better. And this is something that goes along with health and eating habits and working and getting to places on time. It just goes along with everything that we do in life. So ask yourself, am I being committed to being an excellent person, an excellent role model, excellence in everything I do? Is that what people see when they see me? So that's important for you to nurture. And if you haven't been doing your very best, there's always a way to start. There's always a new day to give it a try. And again, you're going to see the amazing results on your self-confidence. So, number 4, the fourth attitude is to be oriented to results. Results need to be that little lollipop at the end of the race. You know, have you seen how some dog races, they have this little, I think it's a carrot, I don't know, I've seen it in cartoons, but they have the little carrot that they go showing, and the dogs are, or maybe it's a rabbit, I think it's a rabbit or some sort of puppet, but anyway, the dogs are racing and they're trying to grab that thing. They're seeing it all the time. You know, they're never gonna catch it, but they just go moving it along, and the dogs keep, you know, going after that thing that they're seeing. Well, that's exactly what you need to do with your results. You need to envision your results and see them ahead of you, and every step you take, you're seeing your results right there. Why? Because the results is the reason why you're doing what you're doing. When you're having a goal, when you're being excellent, it's all about the results. It's all about that specific reward. It might be an emotional reward, it might be a self-satisfaction, it might be an increase in your salary. I don't know what it might be, but it's got to be something that is important to you. So people that have shown to be successful, they have always considered the results that they wanted. And whenever things got tough, instead of giving up, they kept that vision of that specific result that they wanted to taste and they wanted to experience and they wanted to enjoy. So if you are struggling, that maybe you have been already putting your actions together and already planning, oh, Xiomara, I have been doing some of the stuff that you have recommended in Emotional Cafe, but it's so hard, or I'm still struggling, or I'm having so many different troubles along the way. Think about the results. Think about what is it that you're going to be able to enjoy afterwards, and keep that in mind whenever you feel that you cannot go on. The fifth attitude is that they concentrate. Successful people are always concentrating on solutions. They are not into who caused the problem, why this happened. No, they're more into the solutions, what can be done, and how can we avoid it from happening again. They're not looking for someone to blame. They're not trying to find a reason why things happened. They are always trying to solve the situation. They are solutions oriented. And some of the questions that I want to share with you that you can use as key questions whenever you have a problem or situation, try to think about these specific key questions that are for you as a problem solver. What is the solution? What do we do now? What is the next step? How do I solve this problem? How do I limit the damage? How can I prevent this from happening again? Where do I go from here? That's the attitude, because that's when you're developing creative ways to solve the problem. That's when your mind is functioning at higher levels. You are not only considering the problem and getting stuck and staying there. You're actually looking for ways to not only solve the problem, but to avoid the damage and to prevent it from happening again. And that's what we all need to have. And this is an attitude that it's not only for accomplishing a specific goal in life. I would say this is the kind of attitude that we need to have. It's just amazing. I was watching a show the other day, and one of the questions that they were doing to the contestants was what is the longest amount of time that you have spent without whining? And one of the contestants said 10 minutes, and the other contestant said 5 minutes. And the majority of the people said a day without whining. When the truth is, what good does whining really get to whatever situation? I mean, think about it. What do you solve with whining? When we're whining, what is it about the whining? Are we trying to get some drama? Are we trying to get some attention? Because the appropriate attitude, not only for being successful, but for being excellent and for feeling happier with ourselves, is to be oriented to the solutions instead of the problem. It is always having that mentality, okay, what happened? This? Okay, let's deal with this. What can we do? Where are we going from now? What's the next step? How can I prevent it from happening again? That is the attitude. If you think about it, that is the attitude that we need to have in life. And that is the attitude that is going to take us to success. That is the reason why this is one of the successful attitudes that we wanted to share with you tonight. So if you have found yourself whining about life, whining about your spouse, or whining about your job, or whining about the situation, whining, this is the moment to stop. Enough is enough. You're not gaining anything with all the whining. Now, give it a try to have that problem-solving attitude, and then you can write me an email and tell me how it went. Because I assure you that it's going to be totally different, and you're going to start seeing totally different results. Okay? You cannot continue doing the same thing expecting different results. Now, when you start acting in a different way, you're going to be able to enjoy different results. The sixth attitude is that success is also related to growing. To have that attitude of continuous growing. We need to continue with our growth. We need to be eager to learn. We need to be able to incorporate and practice new ideas. We need to be able to get new insights. We need to be able to learn about techniques. We need to be able to learn new strategies. We need to be hungry for new information, because that's the way we grow. We cannot have the attitude that we know everything, or that we already study, or that we already went to college, or that we finished high school and there's nothing else to learn. Let me tell you this, we continue learning until the day we die. So this is the moment to understand and grasp the importance of continuous growing. So if you haven't probably grabbed a book for a long time, if you haven't read a good book, if you haven't watched a movie that really nurtures your soul, if you haven't go to a library and check out a book or a video or a CD or something, this is the time to do it. Challenge yourself. What can you learn? What skill can you learn or develop? What knowledge you would like to acquire? What things you would like to learn about? Question yourself, challenge yourself, because with that growing, you have that eagerness and you have that openness of mind to be able to share with others and learn from others, and you will be giving them something for them to learn as well. But that's how we continue growing. And again, some people, they just settle and they just get comfortable where they're at or with what they know, and they're not interested in knowing anything else. That's not the way to go. If you want to be successful, you need to be open to continuously growing and whatever is it that you want to learn about. It can be in your own professional field, it can be in a different area, it can be as a hobby, it doesn't matter. But you need to continue challenging your mind, because that's what's going to help you to keep active and to keep that brain going, okay? And finally, the last attitude that I have to share with you is that successful people are always oriented to actions. It's all about the actions. It's all about moving. It's all about doing, and doing it now. They don't postpone it. They don't wait for later to see if I have some time, to see if I have more resources, to see if I have more money, to see if I get to know the right people. They start putting their actions together, and they continuously do so until they see the results. They might take a path. That might not be the path that will take them to that result, but it's okay, because they're going to figure it out and they're going to move to a different path, because that's what success is about. When you have that attitude of not sitting back, expecting success to come and knock at the door at your apartment or your house, or sitting on the couch, maybe expecting success to happen in the TV for you, it's not going to happen like that. You need to stand up and you need to put your actions together, and something is going to happen. You don't know what, I don't know what, but trust me, something is going to start happening, and one thing will lead to the next. So These people that have been successful, they all can share with you that success have been a result of their actions. So wrapping it up for you really quick, the successful attitudes that I have shared with you are a vision for a better future, to think about your goals instead of your problems, to be committed to excellence, to keep your mind on the results, to concentrate on solutions, what can be done instead of what happened and who to blame, growth orientation, to continue growing, and putting your actions together, because it's all about the actions in order to see the results you want. My dear friends, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed this session. It's been so helpful for me and for others, and I really hope you get to put these things in practice and you get to see the results that you want. I can assure you that if you start practicing these attitudes, because again, this is something that we get to learn and we get to practice, you're going to be able to be writing emails to me telling me all about the amazing success that you're enjoying in your life. I hope to see you next Thursday with the final session of our March series about new beginnings, with defining my desires. It's time for you to define your desires. It's time for us to define what is it that we want. So it goes hand in hand with the session tonight. So if you're still struggling not knowing what you do, join me next Thursday and you might be able to clarify exactly your desires and your purpose in life. So I'll see you next week, and I hope you have a great evening.